Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome back to Sports Today. We bring you this video segment every single morning to help you catch up with things that you might have missed out on whilst you were catching up on some all important rest. Because let's face it, whilst you and I and the whole world needs sleep, the world of sport doesn't really sleep. There's always something or the other going on. And it can be a little cumbersome keeping a track on every single thing that is happening. And what do you know? That's what we're here for. We're here to catch you up on things that are happening. And trust me when I say, despite it being the last day of 2025, there's fair few things happening which would be of interest to all of us sports fans. First off, let's start with Shreyas Iyer's availability for the New Zealand ODI series. There is a chance that he may miss it, even though he has been working his way back to full fitness. And the reason that he may miss out on it is because his participation will depend on how he pulls up in the two Vijay Hazare Trophy games that he is expected to play for Mumbai. If it is found that he can not only bat but also field consistently without having any issues, then he'll be considered because again, after the spleen injury he suffered, he's lost a bit of muscle mass and has even lost 6 kgs in weight. So there are concerns, and the BCCI wants to be very careful with how it is that they handle his comeback. And speaking of comebacks, one player who's suddenly reportedly rumored to be in the let's say scheme of things as far as the comeback is concerned is Mohammed Shami. He hasn't played for India for quite some time. The last time he featured was, of course, the 2025 Champions Trophy, but since then, not really been in the scheme of things and has been involved in a public war, of course, with the selectors as well. Now we're getting to hear that potentially he could be in line for a recall for the India New Zealand series as well. It'll be interesting to see if that happens because he's been in very good form during the Vijay Hazare Trophy as well as even the few domestic Ranji Trophy games that he played. He had been looking in good rhythm and bowling well. So it'll be interesting to see how he pulls up in those games as well. And if that means that he gets potentially an India recall. Another thing that has been in the focus a lot has been the MCG pitch for the fourth Ashes Test. And the latest person to join the chorus of critics has been Jeffrey Boycott, who said that the MCG pitch failed the standard that is required for a 5 day test match and placed full blame on the curator for that being the case. He said that it basically reduced batting to a lottery and it made the job of the bowlers very easy because all they had to do was pitch it in the right areas and they were just getting plenty of movement. So in that sense, it was not a good test pitch. And again, nothing really wrong in what it is that he's saying. Last night, India completed a final T20I series clean sweep, the Indian women's team that is against Sri Lanka. And there were a couple of interesting things to come out from there. One is that Smriti Mandana unfortunately needed 62 runs to create a world record, but she ended up missing out on that. Not a world record, but a record for 2025. What was that record? If she had gotten 62 runs, she would have been India's highest run scorer across formats, eclipsing a certain Shubman Gill. Unfortunately, Smriti did not get the required runs, and it is Gill who will end 2025 as India's highest run scorer across formats. But one person who did end up making a massive record was Deepti Sharma. Deepti Sharma ended up trapping Nilakshika Silva leg before in the 14th over of the match and has now become the leading wicket taker across women's T20 eyes, surpassing Megan Shute, who's got 151 wickets. Deepti now is well past that, so congratulations, a massive, massive accomplishment for her. And obviously, she's still got plenty of years in her career. That number can go much, much higher. But that's it from us on the cricket side of things. Let's switch our attention to some football action because there was a fair bit of football action last night. One is that Arsenal have brought a pretty crushing end to Aston Villa's run of 11 wins on the trot. It's finished, and well, it finished in dominant fashion because Arsenal beat them 4-1. Now, for that 4-1 win means that they are now 6 points ahead of Villa, who remain in third place. But of course, it does seem like this could very well be Arsenal's year as far as the Premier League, which, I mean, I have mixed feelings about that, but you can't take it away that the job that they're doing is a very, very good one. But this wasn't the only major match on the night. There was also a Chelsea Bournemouth game, which a lot of people had eyes on because, again, Chelsea in recent times have been slipping up a bit and potentially could lose ground in the title race because they were, at least from a points basis, pretty close. Unfortunately, they drew their last game of 2025 2 each, which means that they now have just one win in the last 7 games they played. A concerning run of form, which once again coincides with what happened last year, where they lost a lot of steam in December. Another team who ended up getting a less than ideal result was Manchester United because they ended up drawing 1-1 against the Wolverhampton Wanderers side, who look not only certain to be relegated, but who don't look like they're going to be picking up too many points. So the fact that they even got points in this game was massive to say the least. I mean, they hadn't picked up points in their last 11 or 12 games. So it's a massive result for Wolves. but a shocking drop of points for United. Even a depleted United should, truth be told, be good enough to beat this Wolverhampton Wanderers side. That's how poor it is that they have been. Couple more bits of news before we call it quits. The Abhinav Bindra led panel, a panel that had been constituted to try and figure out what it is that is going wrong with Indian sport in general and talking about India's Olympic hopes, has flagged massive, massive areas of concern when it comes to how it is that the federations are run, but also the arbitrary nature of decision making and the fact that there are many things that aren't taken into consideration that makes it very, very tough for the system to be athlete friendly. And that is being flagged as a major red flag by Bindra and his team. Then obviously there is also chess news, and it's great chess news if you are a fan and you've been a fan of how it is that the sport has exploded. Arjun Erigasi has won a bronze medal in the World Blitz also, and that will complement his World Rapid bronze, which he had won a couple of days prior. So Arjun ending 2025 on a very strong note for Indian chess. Well, it's been a bit of a mixed year, really. 2024, there was an expectation that things would get better, but unfortunately, come 2025, there's been difficulties and growing pains. Congrats to Arjun, though. Great news on his behalf. But that's it from me on this edition of the Morning Wrap. Thank you guys so much for joining us as always. And if you enjoy our work, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell icon as well so that you know when it is that we are going live or uploading a new video for you guys to enjoy. As I said, it is, and also you can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook too. And as I said, maybe the last day of the calendar year, but don't worry, plenty more coming your way on Sports Today. To stay tuned to one of your favorite channels for all things sporting news. And I'll bid you goodbye for now, but I'm going to be seeing you through the rest of the day as well. So, bye bye for now.